Hi there, it's Kathy Howes with Be Creative with Kathy. In this video, I'm going to show you how I put together my May 2024 Trusty Tools Kit class. So here's your packet. Let's go ahead and pull these cards out. In your packet too, I put as big as I can pictures of your cards, and then there's also all the measurements of the cards on the second page, and on the back of this one, I put a list. It says supplies needed, but I just put all the supplies I use. So if you see something on there and you wonder where that came from, that will help you in case you want to make the cards again. Okay, I have all my stamps mounted, so we don't need the stamp case. I'm going to keep my dies out to show you which die goes with which, although it's pretty self-explanatory. So keep your little baggie of goodies. We'll need those here and there. We're going to start with this red card here. And there's a lot of little bits and pieces. Okay, so let's set all this aside. We're going to just take our red card base and fold it in half just so it takes less room on our already full counter space here. So this piece and then this white is going to be the inside. We're going to stamp on that. We're going to just set this textured black cardstock. It's going to be a layer on top, and then this will be a layer on top too. Don't forget, you got to punch all those or get all those little silver spots out of your foil paper here, and those little dots are worse than dimensional covers. You're going to find them everywhere, and I apologize about that, but get rid of those. Okay, so we're going to stamp on, and this other little piece of silver, hang on to that. We're going to die cut. It's your choice if you want to or not. Oh, I should show you the card. I'll put the card out here too. Let me do that real quick. So this is what the card looks like. Okay, so on here, we're going to stamp on here, and we're going to stamp on all these other little bits and pieces. So let's start with this gray granite piece, and I'm going to bring in just a foam mat and a piece of scratch paper. We're using photopolymer, and you get a better image when you use the foam mat. We're going to use black memento ink. For a lot of stamping that we do today, it's going to be black memento ink. But on this piece, we want to stamp a hammer, and a wrench, and a paintbrush. Now hang on to that paintbrush because we're going to stamp it 2 more times. So on the pecan pie piece looks like this. Now your scraps might look a little bit different than mine, but they should be close. So pecan pie or that brown, we're going to stamp a little paintbrush on there. And then we're going to stamp, we just need the bristles of the brush on this new, it's a new color, basic beige, but we only need the bristles. So I'm going to stamp it like that. And see how I just made sure I have the bristles there. Okay, back to that hammer. We need to go back and get the hammer again. And on this piece of afternoon azure afternoon, whatever it's called, we only need the handle of the hammer on there. So there we go. And then on this piece, the yellow and the pool party, we're going to stamp that measure tape. Measuring tape? I think it's a measuring tape. Whatever. We're going to stamp it here on these two. Okay. Is that all of them? Nope. Now we have this piece. Now part of the stamp set is this You Are the Most Awesome. I'm going to stamp that on here. Although the Happy Father's Day fits and the thank you fits, and I'm sure if you're taking my class, you probably have a bunch of stamps of your own. We just need some words on this basic beige piece. And this, I'm sure most of you are already aware because this has been around a while and a very popular die set, but this is the nested essential dies that I cut. It's the smallest one of these. Okay, and the embossing folder that I used today is the metal plate 3D embossing folder. You'll see that a couple times too. You'll see those nested dies a couple times too. Okay, so then on the inside, I'm going to help and take that pencil, just another part of the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that down. And then for all of my cards, well, most of my cards, the message on the inside, I use this Hooray for Surprises. This Hope Your Birthday is Wonderful. So I'm going to ink that up in black and stamp that on the inside as well. Okay, now in your kit, you have another little piece of foil, silver foil, where you can take this die here. Well, it's the little bolts and screws. I see it here and here. It's buried. My dies are a mess. They have been used. We had class today, so they're all thrown in there. But this little die here, you can cut those out. Let's see, I have one, yeah, on this card. And you can put those on the inside. Or today, to make things just a tad faster, I'm going to go ahead and stamp them. And I'm going to stamp them in some basic, or I'm sorry, smoky slate. And I'm going to just stamp those down here and over here. Yeah. Okay, now for the inside, I'm going to color that pencil, and my coloring choice is Stampin' Blends. So I just have a dark Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend, and I'm not going to worry about blending. I'm just going to color that pencil yellow. It's not like he's a focal point or anything. I'm sure to make the video shorter, I'm going to make it easy. I'm sure if you like to color and blend, and you can do what you want to the inside. Okay, now we need to take all those pieces that we just stamped. This, 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 not this, this, and this, and we're going to die cut them out. So we have all the dies in here. I don't think I need to show you, but I will just for the first time so you get what goes with what. So the wrench has a wrench that cuts that out. There's a paintbrush for the paintbrush. There's a hammer for the hammer. Now you've already seen the little bolts that you could use on that silver piece to put on the inside. And then we have our, I'm not going to cut the red one out because we're going to fussy cut that a little bit. So there's all the pieces, and then you'd run it through again to cut out this one and this one and this one, and then you would have something that looks like this. I've got them all here in advance. So you have your 2 pieces of hammer, you have your wrench, you have your 3 pieces of paintbrush, and then you have your measuring tape. Okay, then we're going to take this little piece here, and we're just going to quickly fussy cut, and I'll try not to make it painless. Oop, I almost used my ribbon scissors. Yikes, I'm going to use my paper snips that are meant for paper and not for ribbon, and just cut out this little, I guess it's like a handle to lock the tape. I don't know. I want this little piece right here. Just quickly fussy cut him. And this time as I fussy cut, I'm not leaving any border. I'm cutting right on that black line, and he's going to get glued right there. And then that little circle piece in the center, this right here, and just quickly cut that out. Right, like I said, right on that black line, there's no border showing. And then that way, when you call, I think they call this paper piecing, but then when you put that there, look how cute now your little measuring tape is. Although we're going to take, before we do that, we're going to take some more of those markers. I'm going to use that dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm looking here in my box of markers for my dark smoky slate. Now my dark smoky slate, I'm just going to color the very tip of the measuring tape like that, and then the yellow I'm going to color, I guess you'd say, the actual measuring tape, this whole thing. And this way it just gives it a little bit of character and makes it look a little bit different than the case. Maybe there's some shadowing or something on there like that. Okay, let's glue all these pieces together. Oh, we have to do some cutting first. Come on, Kathy. So first of all, for our hammer, we want to cut so it's just the handle. And again, I cut right through that black line. See how it looks like that? And now when we put it on our hammer, it's going to look two-colored, two-toned. And then the brush, this part, we want to cut away everything except those bristles. So it's going to look like that. It'll sit there on that piece. And then this one, we only want like the middle part of the brush right here. You know when you get a paintbrush and it has that metal across it. Good, Kathy. Then that piece is going to go, whoops, upside down right here. Okay, so now let's glue those together now that we have the... Now I'm going to use my precision tip glue bottle. I think that this works really nice for this project. And I'm going to put the glue on the bigger piece here like this. There we go. And then I'll just lay that little piece. I might have to get my... Nope, look, my fingernails are working today. Lay that there. A little bit of glue here. There we go. For this itty bitty, and you can see like which piece goes up by what, like what you're laying it on. Because this one was confusing, but that little, like, sorry here, this little piece, it goes like that. Look how cute that is with the coloring and the piecing. I think it's adorable. Okay, let's go to the hammer. We're just gonna glue a little handle on there. Really, and you can tell this totally looks like my tools because none of them match. I got a blue hammer, I got a yellow. It's just odd and ends that you find, probably from my dad's garage after he passed away. Anyway, thanks, Dad. So then I'm going to put a little bit of glue down here and put those bristles on here. So we have beige bristles and then a little bit of glue across where that metal would be. And then put the gray there. And just like that, now we have a 3-toned paintbrush instead of just a 1. And fast and simple. There's all of our tools. Let's bring that card base back in now. Whoop, that's our sample card. You can see that there. We have this. Now, you can also, don't forget to stamp on your envelope. I don't like to stamp on my envelope because then I don't put them together and then I can't find them. And then later I find an envelope that's stamped with tools and I've gotten all my tool cards out and la-di-da. Okay, let's put some glue. I'm going to use liquid glue on the back of this just because it's embossed. And when mine's embossed, I like to use liquid glue. Just, whoop, I might have to put some more glue in my little bottle here. And then this is not going to be your normal 5 1/4 by 4. This is 5 by 3 3/4, so it's going to have kind of a bigger border on there. And just so you know, my friend Terry Kaspari, and she holds her stamp classes in her garage, and she has a bunch of cabinets that look just like that, and that's what inspired me to use the black with that metal, whatever it's called, embossing folder. It looks just like Terry's stuff in her garage. Okay, mini dimensionals. If you have mini dimensionals, they're going to fit just right in between these holes so you won't see them from the front. And I'm going to just put 5 on there. I like to put 1 to support the center, or I call it the tummy of my card. We don't like a saggy tummy. And I'm going to do it just like that. Take your pick tool to get those backs off. Okay, and then we will layer that on there. And I'm using the embossing on the black piece to try to get it straight. Now, it might not be perfect. I'm not good at perfection. I might get my head in the camera here. Let me try to... my camera has me working really weird on a certain part on my desk. Usually I stamp down here, and today I have to stamp up here. So I don't know if I messed that up, or does that look good enough? No, now it looks like it needs to go this way a little bit, huh? Brother. There we go. Good enough. It's going to work. Okay, then on the back of these 3, I'm going to put mini dimensionals on there. You could, there's probably some spots where you could use large dimensionals or standard dimensionals, but yeah, since I got the minis out, that's what I'm going to use. And then just 3 more here on our paintbrush. There we go. I'm going to start with the wrench because I like the wrench in the middle, and that way I can set him down and then work my way out. So then they'll be kind of centered better, or they'll look better that way. More symmetrical. Ooh, that's a big word for me. Okay, so we're going to start here, like I said, with my wrench, and I like it to hang, I don't know, a little bit up there, and then my brush is going to hang this way. Go, and then stick that hammer on there, and look how cute that is. Then just a couple standard dimensionals. I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to put one about there. Take those backs off. And then take this greeting here and just set that right there. Now, if you need Father's Day cards, there's a stamp in there that says Dad, like this, just Dad like this. You could stamp that on the inside too, and that would be a really cute Father's Day card. Let me put my glue away so it doesn't clog up. And we're going to take the inside of our card here now and just lay that right inside. Oh, I almost forgot to put the measuring tape on there. Okay, I'm going to just take, again, a couple dimensionals here, and I'm going to put them right here on my cardstock so I know that they won't be in, my hammer won't get in the way when I put my measuring tape down. Let's see if I put them too far. Yep, I sure did. We're going to have to use a mini dimensional over here. That one's too big. And set that right. There we go. Now it's all covered right there. Cute, right? Now the finishing touch in our little bag here, we have these 2, I think they're called industrial trinkets. I had them here. Here they are. Let's see what they're called. Yep, they're industrial trinkets. They're really, if you're familiar with the catalog there with the plain collection, but they look really cute with this tool collection. So with a glue dot, let me see if I can find, yeah, here's my glue dots. We're going to just take and set that tool, or that trinket, right there on a glue dot. Same with this one. And then I like to see how it has the flat edge. I like to line that flat edge up with the flat edge there. And look how cute those trinkets are. Now, you have to probably put a little bit extra postage on to mail the card when you have these little trinkets on there. But look how cute that card is. Yeah, huh? Nice. Okay, and don't forget now, if you want to use the silver, you can just glue those little silver trinkets down. It might even be big enough, your scrap, to get 2 of them. You could put 6 or 5, or ooh, I always suggest an odd number. But there you go. There's card number 1. There's all my cards I've been making. We had class today and Thursday, and then today, and my samples. I got lots of cards now to mail out. Okay, let's go to card number 2. Card number 2, or the yellow packet, looks like this. What did I do with my packet? Oh, here they are. No? Okay, so I set my packet somewhere. Oh, brother. Did you guys see? And you're probably laughing right now. It's right there, Kathy. It is right here. Here we go. Woo! That was a close one, right? Okay, I got everything out of my envelope. I'm going to set my envelope aside. Although, remember, if you want to stamp on your envelope, now's the time. Okay. So in your card, you have your yellow card base. Let's go ahead and fold that since it's right here. Use my bone folder. Get that crisp edge. And then there's two pieces of basic white that are exactly the same. One is the front and one is the inside. So we're going to glue a little bit and prepare our front, and then we'll stamp. Okay, so we have these little corners here that we're going to attach with some liquid glue like this. Now, if you're wondering, where did my little corners come from? I was kind of excited, and I'm excited to show you, is the birdhouse dies has a big birdhouse like this, and then some of the little embellishments are these little things like this. And when I saw these, I thought they looked like corners, so I was determined to find a card to use those corners on. And then I saw this card, who I cased from Jennifer Oh, shoot. What is Jennifer's? I wrote it down here. There we go. Jennifer Beatty Hill. So I cased her card, and I thought how cute it would be to have those corners on there. So let's go ahead and glue those down. This might be when that precision tip really is necessary, especially on the littler guys. These guys are pretty thick. But I'm going to take this and then just set it up here in the corner and pick a border. Doesn't have to be the same as mine. It just has to be kind of even. Okay, and then this little guy, whoop, we're going to take him and slap him right here underneath and give a little bit of border the same on there. And really, it was easier than I thought it would be to get that little border, those borders straight, or those corners straight. Okay, let's go next side. Put that down. Oop, there we go. And then this little one down. I like to hold it here so I can put some glue in each corner, and that way at least the corners won't flap up, or the ends, I guess you'd call it. There's a corner here, but this end down here, whoop, will have some glue on it. There we go. And it won't flap in the wind, or it won't, oop, dang it. I keep saying oop more than anything because I keep screwing or messing up, but there we go. I do have a little bit of glue where I don't want it. Let me get my eraser here and just erase that little bit of glue right there. There we go. Nice. Okay, then this little piece here should fit in there just right. So let's glue him down too. Set that in there. Try to get it somewhat straight. Good enough. And then we're going to take that whole thing and then just layer it on the front of our card. Okay, now let's do our stamping. So we'll bring that inside in. On the inside, I just did a little bit of splattering and Hope Your Birthday's Wonderful. So I'm going to stamp first the Hope Your Birthday's Wonderful. Let me put my glue away so he doesn't get clogged up. And the black ink. And stamp that down right here. Oh, there's a black spot on my paper. I'm going to turn it over. Hold that, let that ink sink in. And now since I have the black, I'm going to go ahead and stamp on here that You're the Most Awesome again. And really, where did my foam mat go? I should be stamping on there, but whoops. And then with that black, we need to stamp a paintbrush on your crumb cake scrap here. That down right there. Okay, then before I stamp my splatters, I kind of want to finish my paintbrush, so I have an idea of where I want my splatter. So let's bring in that die cut machine. Oh, nope, never mind, I forgot. I've already done it for us. I have the die cut right here, so you don't have to watch me do that. The first thing what I want to do, I'll show you two different samples. So I have this card here, and I have this card here. Now this card, I cut the paintbrush down and put the bristles, this little piece here, behind it. And in this one, I put the bristles in front of it. Now I like this size paintbrush better, especially on the card. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. But so you know, there's no right and wrong way to do it. Okay, so bring in that yellow ink. And then I'm going to do a couple things. I need my scratch mat, so at least now, or my scratch paper, so now I'm going to have my pad here. I'm going to cut off that paintbrush and do mine a little bit shorter like I like it. And now that I look at my card, I like them both ways. So I don't think there's a right or a wrong way. But if I have my paintbrush like this, and now I know about where I want my splatters. Now let's talk about splatters, because for the splatters, I'm going to use the of Art and Nature. I absolutely love this stamp set, and it's this stamp here that I'm using. I hope that you have some kind of stamp, or you can splatter with a, you know, like a blending brush or something to get some splatter on your card too, because there is not splatter in the stamp set. So I think that that's going to look, yep, I think that's going to look pretty good. And then I'm going to go ahead and splatter my happy birthday just to try to bring that yellow into the inside of our card. And that's pretty. Oh, and then last on our little paintbrush, and I'm going to lay them like this. There's a little tiny thing in the stamp set. If you wondered what this is the bottom of your paintbrush. And it lines up, let's see if I got it the right way. It goes this way. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. It lines up, you're going to get my head in the camera, but it lines up with the bottom of the brush. So it looks, and I missed, so I'm going to just kind of fake it and add more color. There we go. Now mine looks like the bottom of the brush is just dirty with paint. Ooh, and one more thing. I keep coming up with one more. The paintbrush, when you paint with the paintbrush, I don't care how many times you clean it, it never really gets clean again. So I'm going to just take some of that yellow too and put a little bit on my paintbrush, so now it looks like it's dirty from use. Okay, now we're done stamping. Let's go ahead and assemble our card. First, we'll put that little paintbrush together. So I'm going to put just a little bit of glue here at the top of the bristles. Oh, brother, did you see that? Uh-oh, now I'm going to... So sorry. Now I'm going to sneeze. I should have been using my silicone mat. Let's try that again. That's kind of a good thing. Let me show you a little trick. If you ever have it to where your glue comes out and you have way too much glue on your little paper piece, there we go. All you have to do, especially if you have a silicone mat or a scratch paper, is just turn it over and get some of that off. And then it's still going to have enough glue on there to hold it, because a little bit goes a long way, and then you can just stick it down like that. So there you go. All better. And now we have a cute little paintbrush that looks like that. Okay, I'm not going to put that too far. We're going to use him again. We're going to go ahead and put the inside into the inside of our card. And we're going to take this piece. Now I'm going to put this up with dimensional. So I just throw, I don't know, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we can put him. I'm going to try to get him centered on the card and kind of centered on the, I don't know, just so it looks good. There we go. A little bit, no, I'm going to put a dimensional. Now, I think a standard dimensional fits on the handle way down here. And you can see that it covered that hole, so it's going to have a little bit of sticky here. So when we put our bow on, it won't, we'll cover up that sticky. But there, a little bit of glue there. Take that dimensional off, and now we're going to lay our brush into those paint splatters. I think I like mine like that. Okay, now also in your little bag of goodies here, there's some linen thread. I'm going to dump it all out, because then, and there's all kinds of little yellow hearts. Now, the little yellow hearts I cut out. Let me find that die set. I cut out from the Hybrid, Thoughtful Moments Hybrid. So the Hybrid has the embossing folder, and then you can put the die set in the embossing folder to cut the words out. But right here you can see there's this itty bitty little thing of hearts here, and so you can take that. I cut out some hearts, and we're going to put a heart right here on our paintbrush. little bit of glue. Might take a pick tool, has, well, walked away, I'm sure. But then we just stick that little heart right there. And then if you want to, now I'm not going to take the time, you can use those other little hearts just to embellish your card. Let me show you what it looks like when it's done. This one, I use those little hearts to embellish my card. But for time's sakes, I'm going to just put the one on there. And then we'll take our linen thread here. And Lord knows, looks like it gave us enough. We could probably tie 2 bows, maybe even a double bow if you wanted to. But just a quick little bow here. Get it the size I want. I think I want it about, that looks good, there. And then along, whoop, this is a little bit too big. There we go, looks pretty good. Get rid of all them little hearts. Okay, and then with a glue dot, I'm gonna just take and fill that hole. Kind of swirl it and make it into a blob, right? And stick it on that hole, and then take my bow and put it right there. Now my strings are a little too long. Let's take a pair of paper snips that I have designated for ribbon cutting and just kind of, there, and look how cute that is. Now, I'll tell you a little secret that maybe you already know, but what the heck, I'm gonna share. If you ever have your strings and they're not going the way you want, you can take your paper snips, now notice mine are closed, and you can run them like this along that twine, and it will either straighten it more or it will curl it some. You have to practice and see what happens, but you can get your twine, or in this case linen thread, to do what you want, and then you have a really cute card and a really cute bow just like that. Okay, so there's card number 2. Depending on how many little hearts you put on your card. There's all my cards from today, Thursday, and my sample card. And let's go to card number 3, which looks like this. I'm going to put my lid on here so my liquid glue doesn't clog up, or my precision bottle doesn't clog up before we use it. Okay, so look at all the pieces and parts in here. Now I think this is a fun card because what I did was I took duct tape. I went to the Dollar Tree and found the cheapest, thinnest duct tape I could, and I put it onto a regular piece of copy paper, and then I cut it down to about, oh shoot, I'm not going to remember, 1.5 maybe 1.5. I think this is 1.5. And then I ran it through that same embossing folder, the metal plate embossing folder. So we're actually going to have duct tape on our card. We'll set that aside for later. I also put a little piece in there, an extra piece, that if you want to take, oh, it's not on that card. Let me see another one. Different on every time. So you can take those little duct tape and make them into embellishments for the inside. I guess you could put them all over if you wanted to. But so there's a little bit of duct tape extra that you could do that in your kit. I'm not going to take the time. Well, maybe I will. We'll see. I think I have them already cut so we can. Okay, let's do some stamping on this piece of white. That's what we're going to stamp on first. And I'm going to take that hammer. Stamp that down. Sorry, out of camera because my desk is getting full and I don't have any room to work. Maybe I should stop and rearrange and give me some room. I think I will. So here you go. Now let me show you 2 things. This card here, right? I took and stamped that little measuring tape, but then I colored it with my blends and you can see through. So if that bothers you, on your cardstock here, we should have room, and I don't know, I stamped my hammer pretty low, but we're going to have room to stamp that little measuring tape. Make sure you stamp your hammer and your wrench higher so you have room to stamp your measuring tape on there. Okay, then I always suggest you cut those out before you color them, but let me show you what colors I use to color them. In my box of blends here, I used Pretty Peacock. Oop, that's the wrong. Let me grab the right one. I used Pretty Peacock, both light and dark. I used a little bit of Lost Lagoon. In fact, I think it was the dark, the light. I might have used both. And then I used some Smoky Slate Dark and some Smoky Slate Light. And let me just show you what mine look like. And I went ahead and cut this out in advance. So that's what I'm going to put on the inside, is that there. And then when you cut those little duct tape pieces out, the duct tape nuts and bolts, this is what they look like. So I've done all my die cutting before, so you won't have to wait on me. And then there's also one little wrench already die cut in there for you too. Okay? Then I have a circle here. This circle is a new set of dies. Let me show you those. They are the Spotlight of Nature, and I absolutely love these dies. Let me just show them real quick. In fact, well, I can't stop showing them. So it has all of these circles and all of these circles. So you can see that some of them cut out like a flower, some of them kind of cut out a stitch kind of pattern, and then this one is what I would call a radiant powder or pattern. And I thought the radiant looked kind of manly, so that's why I went with that one. But I do, these might be my newfound lovely, love circle dies. Okay, and also the happy birthday for this stamp comes from the new Simply Said, and this might take the place, because you know how I loved Go-To Greetings. This might be the stamp set that takes the place of Go-To Greetings. It has all of those wishes in there that you could possibly want. So I'm going to use this stamp to stamp the image, or I'm sorry, the greeting on my card. So with this, let's go ahead and do that. And I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside. I'm just going to put that little measuring tape on there. So here we go with some Pretty Peacock ink. I'm going to stamp that happy birthday right here. Now, the Happy Father's Day from this set would fit perfect in there too. This Happy Father's Day would fit, like I said, just perfect on this little 1/2-inch strip that we're going to use here. So try to get my head in the camera. Going to stamp that down in the center. And then I'm going to set my Pretty Peacock is really inky, or really happy is what I usually call it. So I'm going to set that aside and let that dry for just a second. And while I do that, I need to wash. Let me find my stamp cleaner here amongst my mess. I need to wash all of my tools here, because right now they're dirty with black ink, and I'm going to use some Lost Lagoon. So I just want to quickly, I think I missed a spot here. There we go. Quickly wash my stamps. And I like to use my chamois. Really, when I have a bunch of stamps, when class is all done today, I'll go take all of these and run them under the sink with clear water. And then I've taken an old block and an old Stampin' Scrub. And I've put the Stampin' Scrub on that old block, and I scrub them just under the sink just to get them clean. So there you go. There's just a tip from Kathy. Let me get all my tools here ready. Okay, I have all of them. I have the paintbrush. I have the measuring tape, the pencil, the hammer, the wrench, and those little screws and bolts. And I have my piece here. I need my scrap so I don't stamp, because I'm going to stamp off. I'm going to start, like I said, we're going to use Lost Lagoon ink. I'm going to start with the biggest tool, which I think is the hammer. So I'm going to take and just stamp him twice, and I'm going to just make sure I got a good, there we go. I'm going to just stamp him here, and then I'm going to turn my paper, and I'm going to stamp him again. How about right there? That looks pretty good. Then I'm going to bring in that wrench and kind of just go in between. Might have to get my head in the camera again, but I want to make sure I get good images. There we go. Now let's bring in that measuring tape, kind of stamp some more, and now I'm just filling in, kind of going off like that. What else do we have? The paintbrush and the pencil. Let's do the paintbrush first. See how many places are big enough for him. Maybe here. Yeah, my pencil might not make it onto the front of my card, because I think I did really good covering up most of the area, and I don't have room for my pencil, and we're good. But I am gonna take those little bolts and screws, and I'm gonna fill in now here. Just places that are big enough to put in there, and that's gonna fill it in nicely, making sure we go off the edge a couple times. There, what do you think? I think, you know what, we need one more, maybe right there. Maybe I should have, nope, I think that looks good right there, okay? Now I cut your duct tape a little bit bigger than this piece, and that way when we attach it, we can make sure and trim it down to size, and it'll match up perfect, because trying to cut a little piece of paper like this perfect to match the other one sometimes doesn't work. So I made sure I cut it a little bit bigger. So when we take our duct tape, and we're gonna just lay it, let's see which side I like better. I think I like this side. Boy, I like both sides. I stamped that one really well. Pat myself on the back, you never know. Okay, I've got our duct tape on there, and then just take my paper snips and trim that down to size. You'll have to let me know if you like the duct tape. I thought it just made it look more manly, like something cool on the card that a man could relate to. Okay, now let's put the pieces on our circle. I'm gonna start with my little wrench here, and I'm gonna just make him straight up and down. Then with dimensionals, I'm gonna put dimensionals on I'm gonna use mini dimensionals again. I think those are easier. And I'm gonna put 3 all the way down my wrench, although of course if you're a stamper, I don't need to tell you how many dimensionals, but I'm gonna suggest you only put a dimensional at the top of the hammer and at the bottom, because then when we lay it over the wrench, you don't wanna have double dimensionals there in the middle. There we go. So lay our wrench maybe there, and maybe this wrench across here like that. There we go. And then let's go ahead and attach this to our car. I think I'm going to use dimensionals on this too. I'm going to pop this up too. There's that little silver thing. Told you there's worse than dimensional backs. You're going to find them everywhere. Although I did cut out a lot of those, I'll call it a metal plate. So there's dimension, or those little things are everywhere. Oh, and you know, before I do this, I want to put this on my card base. So it's easier to put on your card base when it's flat. So I'm going to put my card base this way. And since I'm not stamping, otherwise I would stamp on the inside first. But then I'm going to just go ahead and attach this to the front. That. It's almost straight. Our little dimensional circle here, so we can still see the background. And then with just a couple dimensionals, I'm going to just put them right here on the card. Take those backs off. And then I'm going to kind of, we forgot to finish, forgot to finish our greeting. So we've stamped it. I'm going to just put a little bit of tape runner on the back. And line this up. It should line up perfect end to end or close. Get it centered. There we go. And now that I think about it, I'll make sure I punch yours for you, and you won't have to have the punch. But I'm going to put that in there and slide it all the way in. And then punch those pieces together. But I'll punch yours just in case you don't have this punch. And I'll kind of lay them down together so they should line up when you go to put them together. Okay, I hope that made sense. But now that I have this done, I'm going to just lay it right here with those dimensionals, kind of get that wrench maybe so it's over it, and it looks like that. Okay, all we need to do is add those little duct tapes and our little measuring tape in here. Duct tapes, I didn't finish duct tape bolts and nuts. I'm going to put my little measuring tape right there. And then I'm going to put just a little dot here. No, I think I'm going to put this there. Look how cute that is. I do like that little duct tape embellishments. Maybe put a little bolt right there. Whoop. And then another little bolt right here on top of the... And I just put a little dot to kind of get the side, because there's actually... Whoop, it just stuck to my finger instead. There we go. So it looks like that. Cute, right? What is this on my card? There, it's all gone. Okay, so there you go. And there's card number 3. Alrighty, if you have any questions, please reach out and let me know. If there's something I missed in your packet, because I am totally human and make mistakes all the time, please let me know and I will mail it to you just as fast as I can. Hopefully, whoop, that one's upside down. Hopefully I get all the packets right the first time. But like I said, I'm human and I will totally fix my error. Where's the third card? Here's another one. You can see the different cards. I totally appreciate you taking my class. Next month, we're going to do the cutest cows. So if you're interested in the cutest cows and you have the bundle, be sure and watch for my email. Now, if you're not on my email list, you can get on my email list. I'll put the link below. Alrighty, there you go. Thanks again for being part of my class. I hope you have a great day and have fun making your cards. See you soon. Bye-bye.